You asked for it. Oh, it is on.
Easy BFT just subscribed for 61 months. Welcome back to the Batcave Team Thing, man. Appreciate the support. Glad to have you back.
Oh, it says explode.
Gusto Presto, thanks for the Prime Gaming. Appreciate the support. Glad to have you here, man. Reduce the spells. Nah, there's not too many spells actually in Highlander Mage, funny enough. We probably want the Mask of Cthulhu for the damage. Conjurers isn't bad either, because the Twilight Drake's pretty likely to stick, right? He's the lab partner, so he might not be... He might be a more aggressive version of Mage than Highlander. I think he's probably going to be more aggressive, so I'm going to take the defensive tools, but sucks having 3 secrets already. He still has coins, so I don't want to play counterspell.
With a cherry on top.
I'm gonna bump this, so I can ping it later.
A whirlwind of flavor. Get one free.
He's used the coin now, so counterspell becomes a lot better. Flameward could kind of set up for a cleaner Reno, but I don't think he's going to develop enough health to prevent a Reno anyway. I want to clear his minions first and then develop my minions so that he can't use his minions to trade into my minions. And he's forced to use his spells to trade into my minions, so he can't hold on to a bunch of spells and accumulate a bunch of spell damage and then burst me. So ideally, if I can get into a situation where his minions are dead and all he has left is spells, and he has to use spells to kill my minions, that's how I win. Otherwise, if we just let his minions trade for my minions, and then it boils down to a situation where we both just have spells, he wins in that scenario because he gets spell damage and kills me with his spells, and my spells just remove minions. So it's of the utmost importance that I remove his minions and then develop my minions if I want to have success.
A whirlwind of flavor.
Makes sense, right?
Time runs out on me.
Wilberg, thanks for 4 months. Welcome back to the Batcave Team Thing. Appreciate the support. Glad to have you here.
Oh, it says
2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thirty, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now in the next turn I'll be able to develop Jandis, and he won't have these little tools to trade into it, hopefully. And then he'll have to be using his missiles, his frostbolts, his fireballs, his things of that nature to clear my minions, and then he won't be able to save them for one big burst turn to kill me. So unfortunately, Jandis, in short, I'm saving you to get fireballed. I am saving you from the death of the little guys. That has to die too. We also have a conch play. Potentially. If we don't get froze. Oh my god, the card draw. The missiles. Is it full cleared? Oh, no clear? So sick. In order for me to get conj value, I have to leave one of these up. Is that worth the conj value, or do we say the conj doesn't matter and just play the Jandis? Kinda in the conj doesn't matter spot. But I want to play the Jandis, I think. Yeah. Although conj isn't always a minion, next turn it could be 2 minions pretty easily. It fits the mana curve for 8 really well. Or 5 is a little bit more awkward. And I don't really want to leave either of these up. That's pretty good. We take Chrono Breaker and ping it. Secretly pick one that dies when it takes damage. So I could ping Chrono Breaker and kill these and go face. It's kind of disgusting. That should put some pressure on him, yeah? Alright, in 2 turns we're gonna die. We have 2 turns to figure out a way to kill him or not die. 9, 10, 11, 12.
Feeling dizzy?
That could help. Let's see how many random freezes he generated. If he's generated a random freeze, we could be in trouble. If he hasn't generated a random freeze, I think this game's in the bag. So it all comes down to this. Because he needs to stall for 1 more turn. We have Zephyrus as an out to kill him. Maybe Malagos or Keyword and Ivory. No freeze! No Frost Nova. What's that? Like, it's gotta be under 7%. I don't know why 7 came to mind, but that's the number that comes to mind when I think about Frost Nova outs. I don't want to get cold. Yeah, fireball yourself. First win of the day! Chad, are you proud of me? We did it! We won a game! We did it with a cool Jandis self-ping play. And it was an unfavored match hit. We're doing it. We're defying the odds. We're setting our own story. Oh no. Not Druid. I play Druid all the time. Let me be the first to tell you. The Druid cannot draw you.
Light shall bring victory.
Usually as Priest, you don't want to ramp your mana. Usually you want to save Zephyrs as a reactionary tool to respond to what they're doing. Especially versus Druid, who can do really big things out of nowhere. But we do keep this whole hand, I think. Are you ready for the 2 days of playing Classic mode and basically doing stats on curve? I think people are underestimating the complexity of Classic. I mean, I'm a little biased. I'll be the first to admit that I'm a little biased towards my favoritism with Classic mode, alright? I like Classic. It was a good time for me. Things happened. But in Classic, the biggest appeal for Classic for me is that every deck has kind of a base set of restrictions in it. When you're versing a Druid, you know they have the 14 damage burst combo. You're versing Handlock, you know about the Giants, you know about the Leroy Power Overwhelming combo. That's not going to be extended or changed. In the current metagame, when I play against a deck, I don't know their damage burst threshold very well. It's very very vague. I don't know their value threshold. I don't know how to calculate over the next 8 turns, can I outvalue this deck? You can't do that with modern Hearthstone because of the random generation. You can kind of guess, but it's always like a 60-40 on the outvalue plan. In Classic Hearthstone, you have 100% knowledge if you can outvalue somebody. If you identify a window where you can take the slow line, it's going to work 100% of the time. So it's a little bit different without so much random generation. The predictability of the ranges of the decks, you know, they have a threshold for the damage they can do. They have a threshold for the value they can do. In modern Hearthstone, nothing has a threshold. Mage can do anywhere from, you know, 2 fireballs, 2 frostbolts in their deck to generate 3 pyroblasts on top of that, 12 arcane missiles, another fireball, and another frostbolt. So you can't really navigate the waters and evaluate what your life total is, because your life total in every single individual game changes what each 1 point of life total is actually worth in the context of the game. And I kind of like when the tools are in front of me where I can be like, 1 life point is 1 life point, because I know that this is the damage they have, you know what I mean? In short, I like Classic. So the Fungal Fortunes? He's token, okay. He's token. I mean, I should have known that from the Power of the Wild. I thought maybe he's just spicy with the Power of the Wild, you know? This token start is very slow for him. I'm ahead on board against a token druid. I couldn't be happier. Remember, this can only cast on enemy minions now. Don't be like me, I made that mistake earlier. It didn't cost me the game or anything, but it made me feel silly. Token Druid instantly loses because they draw badly. Fair game deployed. We're in for a long one.
My magic will tear you apart.
Sure it will, buddy. Sure it will, buddy. beautiful.